What's up? We're back with the podcast for Humphrey's class in the summer about horror and sci-fi. I'm your host, I guess, today, Mason. Here I have
Vance?
and
Well,
and today we're going to be talking about the 2004 horror comedy Shaun of the Dead.
Now, before we jump into it too much, I wanted to ask you. I know you're the host, but I need to ask you. Did you guys find this movie that scary at all? I really didn't.
No.
there were elements that I was like, ooh,
Yeah,
like
I mean, it caught me off guard.
scary-ish, but it's not like it's gonna keep me up.
Like,
at
cover
night.
your eyes scary.
No, it's not that like that. Or as I said, like I'm gonna be up all night.
Like, you
but
have a nightmare.
Hence
No.
horror comedy.
dot
But
dot
again,
dot.
horror was. But whenever they say that, horror is always the first. I usually think of whatever you say first is what it's going to be more of. And it was more comedy than horror.
Well, comedy horror just doesn't sound as
It
good
doesn't
as a
sound as
horror
good, but
comedy.
yeah.
For one, it was also Simon Pegg. So what do we want
That's
to
true.
really
I mean,
get
you're,
with that
you're not
too?
wrong. You're not wrong. So for those who don't know, explain that.
For one, I do
Yeah.
believe he's a comedian.
He is.
For us Star Wars nerds, he's Ankar Plutt. For Star Trek nerds, he's Scotty in
No, he's not.
in Abrams.
He's also in
He's
Mission
Uncar. No, he's
Impossible.
not. Is he actually?
He's Ankar Plutt.
Oh my god.
He's also Tom Cruise's companion in the latest
Mission
Impossible.
Impossible.
That I
No,
did-
in all of them.
All of them?
Yes, he
Yeah.
Not
is.
the first one.
Not the. He's not in the first.
Not
That
the
is true. He's
first
not-
one, but
he's
like
second.
he's
Second on.
second on.
Yes, he's not in the first one. That is true.
because it was the 80s.
I did not know he was plot. What?
Simon Pegg.
Yeah, I
what a
didn't
guy.
know that until like literally.
Did you just look that up?
No, I already knew that, but like I didn't know that instantly. It was one of those like
It took time.
it was one. It was like that one time I'm like, let me watch the bonus features of The Force Awakens. That's how.
And they just broke it down.
Well, it was him in the bodysuit with the hat,
The
with
big ol' head,
with the head
yeah.
off. But like it was like looking at him, but
Hey, that's mine.
yeah. Well, for Shaun of the Dead here, personally, I thought the movie was great.
Yeah,
I mean, that was a funny movie
it very much was.
all the way around. I thought the plan was great. Get all the gang and hide out in the bar
No,
at
that-
good
Yeah, you
old
gotta be
Wen-
right. It's British pub.
at the good old Winchester.
Oh yeah.
So, let me ask you a question. Being it's 2004,
Yeah.
I was born in 03. You weren't quite born yet. He was 7 at the time, or 6 at the time. Do you think there was a lot? Because again, there's a lot in that movie that's said that's not what we call socially acceptable today.
Uh-huh.
Personally, I like that. Where do you guys stand on it?
I thought it was funny that he said the N-word.
I did too, but that's not socially acceptable today. But again, I'm like, I think you know
That
what
was
I-
unexpected.
You know what I've always said? My parents and I've always said, funny is funny regardless if you like it or not. If it's funny, it's funny.
And it fit.
It did. Will, you're spot on. It did fit, but I've always been of the belief if it's funny, it's funny. Like, you can offend people, but as long as it's funny, I don't care.
Yeah.
If you're Mel Brooks, just offend everybody.
You're not wrong. Good
I mean,
lord.
he literally does make fun of every ethnic group there ever is.
Well,
But
and
that's
ever
why it
was.
works, because it's everybody. It's not one.
Don't worry,
Yeah.
guys. Now in that universe, technically, they're gonna calling people zombies is gonna become a slur.
It already has. I'm gonna be honest.
Zombied.
Okay, so what was your? So because you're the host, let's start with you. What was your fact or your topic?
Okay. Well, I found a fact. Found an interesting little bit of trivia on fandom.
So what was the website? Do you remember? We have to cite it.
Fandom.
Fandom. Okay.
Ed. He's Simon Pegg's friend. He actually
The
tells
zombie
you.
at the end. Yeah.
Yeah. He actually tells the entire plot at the beginning of the movie.
I never went. What part? I never noticed that.
He says, we'll have a Bloody Mary in the morning, a bite at the King's Head, a couple at the Little Princess, stagger back here, and bang, back at the bar for shots. The first we'll have a Bloody Mary in the morning. The first zombie that they interact with is a woman whose name tag reads Mary. A bite at the King's Head, when they head over to rescue Barbara, they discover that Philip was bitten in the neck by a zombie. A couple at the Little Princess, Sean battles a zombie in the backyard of a little girl, stagger back here. When the group find the Winchester, it is surrounded by zombies, and they have to pretend to be them so they can pass through, and bang, back at the bar for shots. The climax is held within the Winchester, where they battle with the zombie horde.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, it's some interesting
Is
short.
there more than that, or is that it?
That's it. But that's some interesting foreshadowing that I thought.
That's really good foreshadowing. 'Cause
I
I had
know.
no idea.
Yeah, no, it was a throwaway line, but
When
it
you
was
read
some-
that, what was your first thought? Did you notice any of that?
I was like,
Did
yo,
you
that's
notice
cool.
any of like what it said in there when watching it?
No,
I didn't either.
because again,
Wow.
it was foreshadowing. It was unintentional, I believe, but
I feel like they hit it really well.
that was really cool.
Yeah, they hit it well too. So I'll go next. Mine is from yardbarker.com. Yes, that is the name of the website.
What?
Yardbarker.com.
That doesn't sound like it might give you 6 or
your-
7 viruses.
So what's your fact?
It's 20 facts you might not know, but I'm not going to read all of them because there's some that aren't worth reading it. This episode started as a TV show pilot.
Interesting.
It was originally going to be a TV show.
Was it going to be the Twilight Zone, but funny?
It says writer Simon Pegg and Jessica Stevenson were creative team behind the cult British sitcom Spaced. In one episode of that show, Pegg's character Tim is playing a zombie video game while on amphetamines and begins to hallucinate that he is in a zombie invasion. This gave them the idea for writing this movie.
Nice.
Interesting, isn't it?
I guess.
There was plenty of spaced influence in the film.
Well,
Um,
Oppenheimer's on Peacock now.
Yes, it was. It is still. Frost was still quite new to acting. The guy that played Ed that everyone liked. Listen to this. This was only his second movie acting in
Yeah?
ever.
Well, he's a good actor.
He was extremely funny. There are a lot of cameos from British comedians. If you are from England and love British comedy, you probably recognize a lot of the faces in Shaun of the Dead. Those of which are a lot of people from sitcoms and sketch comedy. Two of the most notable are Lucy Davis and Martin Freeman, who played Don and Tim on the British version of The Office. Next one, Helen Mirren declined the role. Remember Sean's mom? That was
Yeah.
originally going to be played by Helen Mirren, a huge actress.
Yeah.
Listen to this. Part of the film is inspired by a real-life experience that Wright had. Wright somehow managed to miss the entire foot and mouth disease outbreak in the UK in 2001. He didn't check in on the news for a couple of weeks, and this is before social media was a thing, and was unaware of what was happening. One day he turned on the news and was baffled by what he saw. This led him to consider the possibility of characters who didn't know the world was ending, hence Sean and Ed not realizing a zombie invasion had happened. That's interesting. The next one. There was not a lot of improvising. So, not a lot of improv. It was really follow the script word for word how we want you to do it. I think we all knew this. There was a lot of paying homage to zombie films of the past. George Romero's Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah.
28 Days Later, another British zombie movie. But I know our professor talked about that with us, so there was like a lot of homage in there. Only two artists gave a thumbs up to their album covers being shown. Sean and Ed's characters. No one else wanted to be on the movie cover. Interesting. My favorite one here. Shaun of the Dead. There's actually a Shaun of the Dead comic book.
Yeah, I knew that.
I did not know that until reading this.
Is it one of those things that it is the movie comic book version?
No, it
or
came out after the movie.
But is it the movie comic book,
I'll
or
read
is it
you
a sequel?
what it says, because the movie came out in 2004, the comic book came out in 2005.
No, like, is it a comic book version of the movie,
it
or
an
is it a
adaptation?
continuation of the story?
It doesn't give me much, but I'll read what it says. It doesn't give me much. It says, in 2005, a 4-issue miniseries based on Shaun of the Dead was released by IDW Publishing. It was written by IDW's editor-in-chief, Chris Ryle. Before that, Pegg and Wright had written a comic strip for the British comic magazine 2000 called 2000 AD. The strip is called There's Something About Mary. Takes place the day before the zombie outbreak and focuses on Mary, who becomes the first zombie that Ed and Sean encounter the next day.
So
how you
it's a
mentioned
prequel.
Mary. It was a prequel, but it came out after the movie was out. So I thought that was interesting.
Wait, so,
Well, so did Star Wars. So
Yeah, that's true.
there's something about Mary is the prequel to this movie?
No, There's Something About Mary was the name of the comic strip
Oh,
it comes out before the movie.
that came out. It came out in 2005, but it was about
Came out
before.
after the movie, but takes
It was
place before.
before the movie. It was written after the movie takes
oh,
place.
so it was
before.
like Star Wars.
Yeah, written after takes place before. Funny enough, a joking sequel reference was brought to reality in the movie, sort of. I'll explain. For a little while, Wright and Pegg would talk about the sequel called From Dusk Till Shaun.
Yeah.
Though usually was tongue-in-cheek, no sequel is going to be made, but the movie still got a bit of life. In Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, you can see a poster from Dusk Till Dawn in Times Square.
Yeah, I knew that.
I did not know. I've never seen the movie.
You've never seen Spider-Man Into the
I
Spider-Verse.
have not.
That is your homework tonight after you.
I don't have Disney Plus currently. Right
It's
now.
not on
It's not
Disney
on-
Plus. I don't know where it's on, but you should watch it. And
Netflix.
it's on Netflix, yeah.
I have that. Yeah.
You should watch that. Second, your other homework is to you should watch it after
Why don't you finish uploading our
Yeah.
stuff?
Yeah. Have you It's a great movie.
And then the last one I think is worth it is this movie was inspired by some knockoffs. So, Shaun of the Dead is indebted to many films that came before it, but the movie works as a piece of filmmaking in and of itself. You might not be able to say that that about some of the movies that directly knock off Wright and Peg's movie. There's the Spanish-Cuban production Juan of the Dead, the Singapore movie Juan of the Dead, and Shed of the Dead, which is British, but also genre mashup. Ultimately, none of them hold a candle to Shaun of the Dead. So I feel like for me, those were kind of the best ones that I could find. I didn't read all 20 because I didn't think some were worth it, and some we kind of already knew. So what about you, Will?
Well, I kind of did the same thing with you. Did the whole fun facts thing. I went through Mental Floss, mentalfloss.com. Did you guys know that Shaun of the Dead wasn't the original title?
I did not. What was it originally going to be
What
called?
would become Shaun of the Dead began, as Wright describes, as a one-page Word document that sketched out the general idea of the film. Back then, it was called The Time of the Dead.
That doesn't flow the same.
Tea Time of the Dead.
It doesn't really flow the same.
Why?
I read that
tea
wrong.
time?
British.
British, they call it dinner. Like
okay.
dinner is called tea. Tea time. Dinner's called tea time. Yeah.
And as I always do, and I will always do this.
Yeah.
What do you people guess for the Rotten Tomatoes for this thing? And don't you dare look.
Turn the computer away.
I'm just
Because I actually want to be. Because I never look. Give us a range.
I'll put it in the 80s.
No,
Is
70.
it higher or lower?
higher than that.
Higher than the 80s?
Mm-hmm.
90s.
Yes.
93.
92.
One of them is 92.
90.
Is that audience or critic?
Lower than 96. I'll wait till he gets the other one.
91.
No.
90.
No.
He
93.
said lower than 96, higher than 92.
94.
No.
95.
No.
93.
Yes.
That's the only one he didn't guess, yeah.
So, the tomato score is 92. The audience score was 93.
That's
Really?
crazy.
So they both
They love
were-
that movie personally. Both
For one,
both sides.
I think the stardom kind of
Simon Pegg, yeah.
not just Simon Pegg, but like the other
That
people
helped.
within it. The fact that it's a spoof typically does well, in my
Being
opinion.
funny helps.
Being funny helps. I mean, being stupid in a movie definitely is another help. I mean, that's also me. I just like.
That's
to,
never a bad idea.
I honestly just I just love watching stupid movies just to be like, let me turn off my brain.
I'm going to ask you a question, and I know you, so I know the answer, but it's for the people listening. What is your thing with stupid movies? Because I know you have a thing for, like, if you have free time, you love to watch. Like, explain to people why you like them. Because I know you and I have talked about this. You love watching in your free time stupid movies, but explain why.
It's a way to escape, for one, like every great movie that ever is, regardless if it's a great movie or not. I just like laughing in general, and I just want to forget depression for a bit, regardless if it's going through like a very bad time or just a general whatever. Just laughing for the sake of laughing helps with all that. Plus, I don't have to think real hard with a
That's
stupid
true.
movie.
Let me ask you a question. Shaun of the Dead notwithstanding, what was the last stupid movie you watched? That wasn't for a class.
I don't really want to call it that, but at the same time, it kind of is. If you count everything satire, would be Spaceballs.
I consider that a stupid movie. But I get why you want to say no, though. I understand.
Because it's actually like this is also another thing
It's
where
a
it's
parody.
like it's not even a parody. It's a stupid movie. It's like on the level of Python, but you would still go back and watch it for the sake
Oh,
of
I've watched
whatever.
I've watched it a few times, yeah.
But like now I actually want to buy this thing and watch it every Halloween because I have a thing where I watch at Halloween movies that aren't actual Halloween but have themes of it, hence Harry Potter and everything else like that.
Do you remember we watched, I think he and I first year when we were he and I were at the school together. Do you know the movie Boo?
No.
Medea Halloween.
No.
We watched that with Pat and Mark, and who was a girl? Me.
Most
you,
likely Kaylee.
it was.
Most likely
There was two girls. It was me, you, Mark, Pat, Kaylee.
Christina.
I don't know if she was there.
Right?
But no.
No, we didn't know her then.
No.
We didn't know her then.
But like it was one of those things where it was like it had to have been that. But like the only movie I remember watching through campus, and I sat through both of them because why not? It was Halloween. I watched both Hocus Pocuses because the second one just came out,
Yeah, Brandon.
and I've never seen the first one. It
First
was
one's good.
I was
it-
there with you for that. Yeah.
it was dumb. I hated the first one,
The second one was a little
and
better.
then I was dumber to sit through the second one.
The second one was
I will
worse.
say the one thing with Boo, because he had never seen it, Mark and I had, and Mark's girlfriend had also seen it. So the one thing that we kept coming back to was he couldn't understand Medea's character because she's from the ghettos of I forget what state, and she talks in a funny way. But the one thing that Will kept saying to everyone, he goes, "Why is it so dumb, but it's making me laugh so much?"
Because that's what dumb movies do.
But he didn't like it at first, but he could not stop laughing.
Because I'm realizing I'm wasting my goddamn time
But you couldn't look
with
away.
something that's the genius of these movies. They're so dumb
They
that
make
you're like
you cannot look away. Yeah.
because you can't look away because you want to figure out how either great or bad this is going to turn out. I'm one of those people that if I start something, no matter if I freaking hate it or not,
You're gonna watch it.
I'm going to finish
gonna
it to
finish
the
it,
end.
yeah.
Unless it's Toys in Babeland, I have not fallen asleep during a movie. That's the only movie I have actually fallen
Bro, I
asleep for.
cannot.
No, that's fair.
I cannot.
But
dude.
like seriously, like my mom was actually shocked when we were watching that because every movie, no matter if I've liked it, hated it, despised it,
you watched it through.
I've watched it through.
You gave it its chance.
Gave it its chance to see if it can redeem itself, and even if it can't redeem itself,
So
the
let me
only
ask
other
you, which
one
one
was
did you like?
good.
Did you like Boo 1 or Boo 2 better?
I hated them both.
Which, if you had to say which was better, which was better?
Neither.
The first one because it was at least an original idea.
The second one, they kind of
They
flipped.
didn't need to do
The
it.
second one, you know what they did, which I thought was why I liked it better?
I don't know.
They flip. So Medea's the one getting people out of trouble in the first one, and the second one, she's getting in trouble. So they're flipping the story completely. Like,
What
Wow.
an original plot
What
twist.
an original
have you guys seen
idea.
21 and 22 Jump Street? They do the same thing. They just flip the characters
That's
around.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
What an original
Wow,
idea.
a Hollywood trope of just flipping things to make money off a franchise. Seems like that haven't. Let's see, Fast and Furious. Oh yeah, 10 movies down the road. They're still racing cars down a
They're
damn
actu-
road.
They're doing less of that than ever, but yeah.
But you get the point
Yeah, I know.
of what it is. It's a
The first
stereotype
one
of
was
the
all about that.
franchise.
Vroom vroom.
Vroom vroom, knucklehead.
Vroom vroom, rock Vin Diesel.
Damn they.
Well, for a time, they also didn't get along for a majority of the movies.
Yeah.
Okay, now let me ask you, what for you, Mason, for dumb movies? Not that we're saying this one is or isn't.
It is.
I didn't think of it as dumb. I thought of it actually as a different word. But for you, what makes you not able to take your eyes off of dumb movies?
Well, I'm not like Will actually. See in my house, I have a rule.
You can turn it off.
Yes, I have a self rule kind of where it's
It's a self rule. Okay.
yeah, it's not an actual rule, but I enforce it because if we're watching something that's absolute shit, I'm not watching it. So I have a rule where like if the movie does not pick up or get good at any point within the first 30 minutes, I turn it off.
Okay, now I want to ask you a question, and you might have a hard time answering. That's fine. But I want you to define the word good.
Enjoyable to watch.
Okay. Because
He
good
doesn't
for
want to
me
pull
can be
his
different.
eyes out.
Because
Yeah.
good for me can be different from good for you. Like that's
Okay,
that's why I was
I
asking.
get
That's-
that.
that's perspective.
But like watching, what were we watching the other night? That was so terrible. I don't even remember what it was.
Was it during this class?
No, it was at my house. But like,
Okay, so we weren't there.
Never mind
my
then.
sister was watching a movie, and I'm like,
The Barbie movie, probably.
no, the Barbie movie's good. What are you talking about?
I wasn't
Never
talking.
seen
I
it.
wasn't talking about Marco Robbie's. I was talking about any
Oh,
of the
yeah.
early 2000s ones.
No, those ones are terrible.
Give us we'll help you out here. Give us like a who is-
Synopsis.
give us a synopsis. We can probably figure this out.
No, I don't remember.
If you
But
can't, it's fine.
the point is, she was watching it, and I'm like, this is terrible. Let's watch
The
something.
movie
else."
just started, so you gave it a chance.
Yes, I always give every movie a chance, like Will. But instead of sitting through it, I don't want to waste my time if it's not worth my time.
The thing for Will, the thing with Will is he is such a pure heart, and like he wants to make everyone happy. Whereas like he didn't like the second Boo movie at all, but he literally was like, "Can you guys pause? I'm going to the bathroom," because he wanted to watch it.
Or I just walk away and just let everyone else view it.
Yeah.
But I think
And go do
at
something else.
that time
No,
you
I
were.
get
I don't know
that.
what. But I think maybe you're having a bad week and you wanted to laugh or something.
If
Or
It
we
might have
were
been.
we were all in my room anyway. I
No,
couldn't
if-
escape it regardless.
We were in your room.
if someone wanted me to watch a movie, I'll watch it with them. But
We were in his room. Yeah.
You have this modern technology called a phone. You
we
can
had
just view.
You know what it was? We
Yeah.
had about like I think Kaylee brought like bean bags. He like bean bags. They had chairs. They had beds. We were just watching the
90% of the stuff that Kaylee likes, I really don't
movie.
like.
Yeah.
yeah, that's
But you know why
That's
I didn't want to watch
relationship
it?
story,
It's not that I'd already seen them.
But yet you'll sit and watch Star Wars like I will 20 million times.
Star Wars.
I haven't watched. I can't actually.
Why is Star Wars so rewatchable?
I'm gonna be honest. I haven't watched it at all this year.
That's a skill issue.
I don't have Disney Plus at the moment.
Okay, you
But you have the physical discs,
I do.
right?
They're at my house.
watch something on YouTube.
You do what I do.
You define. Yeah.
Do what I do. I watch the Revenge of the Sith duel on Mustafar almost every other day.
Yeah, me too.
No, I mean I watch that. If I watch any duel, I watch that the most. To be fair.
Dude, when I'm bored and I just need a Darth Vader, boost, I just watch
A
it.
Darth Vader. A Darth Vader
Darth
boost.
Vader is like fucking cocaine to you.
I mean, I
Not
do
like
calm,
not literally.
I do calm
but-
down with the Imperial March, so
Bro, that is like your favorite song. I swear to God.
It's a good
Favorite
song.
I'm not saying it's. Did I ever
Favorite
say it wasn't
instrumental.
good?
favorite instrumental.
I never said it wasn't good. I said he listens to it way too much.
That and the Ewok
can't-
celebration.
Will,
That is
Will am I allowed to
ungodly
say
amount
a
of
lot of
food.
what your phone? What you show me what your phone? Can I tell him what your phone soundtracks are? Am I allowed to do that?
What? Okay, yeah.
He
go
has
on.
a lot of movie soundtracks instead of like songs. It's literally like movies. It's
Oh
like,
no, now
I
it's
have
more
the-
mixed.
no, not
You-
like like movie instrumentals. That's
You
what
want
I
to
mean.
see it?
No, not. I had it wrong.
I'm gonna
Not
pull
movie
up my
sound-
Spotify
hold on.
list for you
Not
guys
movie
to see
soundtracks.
right
movie
now.
instrumentals.
Yeah.
Am I lying?
Soundtracks is what they're called.
Here,
But am I lying?
No,
where the fuck is it?
but still, like,
But
yeah.
again, you like what you like. I'm not mad. You like what you like.
But yet, to go back to Sean, I mean, it was, for one, the title is
The
actually
music was-
funnier this
I think-
way.
I
The
think-
music complements it a lot.
I literally have my own playlist of that shit. The Home Depot theme song is on there for some reason.
Oh my god.
But yeah, look, you can scroll through it.
Will is humming it. Oh god. Okay. Now, because you're the host,
Yes.
I'll give it back to you, but I want to ask one thing. Best and worst thing about this movie.
Best thing, Simon
It wasn't
Pegg.
long enough.
Mason first.
First thing, best thing, Simon Pegg. He was hilarious.
He's not really in the movie. He's the director of the movie.
Simon Pegg?
It said he directed the movie. It's what from
Simon
what it said.
Pegg is the main character.
I don't know why. It
He's
said,
the main character. You
for-
can
it's-
act and direct a movie.
for me, it never said he was in it. It just said
Hey.
he directed it.
By the way, this
For
is
me, my phone literally just told the thing I read to literally just said he directed it. Didn't say
Simon
actor.
Pegg is the guy that goes to.
This is Simon Pegg.
I see that now, but my phone literally just says.
Okay, I don't care what your phone says. That's literally Simon
You
Pegg.
can't read everything and believe everything on the internet.
Well, that's.
Okay.
Secondly,
Anyways, best part was Simon Pegg. Worst part was, like Will said, it ended to like it was not long enough.
it's not that the ending wasn't good. It was friggin' hilarious. It's just I wish there was more.
Yeah.
I do too. For me, the best and worst thing were the same thing.
First off, you yell at me about the Bayverse, and Arrival to Earth is on your.
Oh.
Arrival to Earth is good. Okay.
So for me,
Autobots
the best
is
and worst
better.
were the same thing. The guy losing his mom because of how real that is for some people,
Uh-huh.
but she became a zombie and he knew he was gonna have to do it regardless. It's the best and worst because it's a human. That's a human emotion we all deal with, but he knew sooner than later I'm gonna have to do this anyway.
But yet, that scene was also very genius in the way it balanced the serious
Dude.
moment and then the humor. It's like, oh no, she's going to die.
Take
Or-
your right ear side. He's playing playing it.
Oh.
Rivals are
But-
good.
But yeah, it's like literally like the Transformers has interrupted this podcast.
Continue.
But yeah, like literally, it's if you keep this going, it's gonna get up and up, and it's gonna be great when I keep going. But like the whole point of that was, she's going to die. She's dying. We're gonna take this time
Regardless, she's gone.
to literally
Yeah.
mourn her, as as the fact of literally.
Bro, can you just turn it off, please?
No, it's funny as hell. But like literally, but literally the point of literally the moment,
Can't even talk.
the point
Can't
that
even talk.
the point that literally it is it's like my mom's dying. I have to make sure I have this moment with her. 2 seconds later, she's
Pop.
gone,
Yeah.
and then
All because she snarled.
and then like the song's
he
rising.
literally can't think.
No, I'm letting the music talk for me.
Oh.
It literally is the song's rising. It's literally what she did, and then you went pop.
Yeah.
You want to say anything else other than letting Arrival to Earth play?
I think that was. I think you're right. The scene was really well played out.
Tune in next time when we have someone else interrupt the podcast.
Yeah, right. Oh gosh. So go back to you, Mason. Back to what you're saying.
The scene with his mom was good. It was one of the
It gives a human aspect, and I like that.
like I said in class, it's like 3 or 4 times already. You can't just have the whole thing as goofy dumbassery, or else you can't take it seriously. Like Monty Python, that movie's hilarious
Mighty
and it's
Python.
great, but you still you can't take it seriously because there's no like real human element to it.
Are you the brain surgeon?
Do you think that's what makes it good, though? That you can just, it's mindless TV?
Yes, I think that, and it works for Monty Python, but
I can do like
Just
probably.
mindless TV, yeah.
yes, but
I'm-
for this movie, it works well because it is supposed to also be a horror.
Yeah,
movie.
there's a human element to
So
it. Yeah.
you have to add that in there.
Which this is hard for me to say, but I think this is the one thing that can work for this movie for me.
Yeah.
I think.
Oh my god.
I think that like I could literally do anything while this is on the background. It's one of those things like for the first time I
You
think
mean
I've
the song?
found. No,
Oh.
I meant like I could.
You could have that movie playing.
Yeah, as I'm doing X, Y, Z, or
Oh,
whatever
okay.
else.
Yeah.
With something, if I could do Star Wars, even though I've seen it a million times, I'm not gonna be able to sit there and do my thing. I'm gonna just straight up.
I feel like that is for you one of 2 that I could name, not name Star Wars. That one and Emperor's New Groove.
And Stitch.
Pull the lever, Kronk.
Wrong lever.
Why
do we That even and have that Stitch.
lever?
Get out of my way.
My favorite line that he can do really well. I'll kill Cusco. He can do it really. He can do a really good Yzma.
The real Cusco?
The real.
I can't take you seriously
We cannot take you seriously, bro. We cannot.
I
Okay.
can't take this seriously. How
Then
much
don't-
longer do we have?
12 minutes.
Damn. I guess we're gonna listen to Arrival on Earth for 12 more minutes.
The next question I have for you guys: what do you feel like the movie didn't do in terms of good and bad? What do you feel like it didn't do well?
I thought the ending was kind of. It was funny, but
It was rushed.
It was abrupt.
it
it
was
was
very.
rushed.
It was, like I said, it was a Jurassic
Rushed
Park.
or abrupt?
It was
Rushed.
a Jurassic Park 3 ending. The entire fucking military shows up, and then like
It was an
everything's
Aliens
solved.
ending as well.
Would you say
Yeah.
more rushed or abrupt? Just a like pop right there. End.
No, it was rushed. It's like as we said during that class.
We got out
We
of it.
wrote ourselves in a corner.
Deus Ex Machina.
What else are we gonna do?
Yeah, Deus Ex Machina. The
As he
military
plays
For
it
those
shows
that
yet
up.
don't know,
again.
I know only Humphrey's listening to this, but for those that don't know, because it's going on YouTube, explain that.
Deus Ex Machina.
For those that don't know, explain that.
It means God in the Machine. It originates from ancient Greek when they had when they did like actual fucking like when they did plays, they had a god come down through a lever machine, and that solved all their issues. Now
Pulled
it's
by Kronk.
yeah. Anyways,
And
then
so it allegedly solved their issues.
yes, now in modern writing, it's used as a term for like when there's a problem in a story and there's literally no other way to fix it,
You
so
just
they come
write
up
yourself-
with
yeah.
a way to fix it. Sometimes it works very well, but other times, like in this movie, it does not.
It wasn't a bad ending. I will say it wasn't a bad ending. I just feel like there was other ways it could have gone.
Yeah.
Where do you stand, Will, on... You say it was rushed. Give your side to why you think it was rushed. Because I fundamentally agree with
We
you.
wrote ourselves into a corner. Let's wrap all this up. And now you got into Shrek.
Dude, come on. Can we be serious?
Yeah.
'Cause
I
it's
got
kind
you.
of giving me a headache.
The Shrek music is giving
No,
you a
you
headache?
playing it into the microphone.
Was it that loud?
It wasn't quiet.
Damn, I'm sorry.
It wasn't quiet.
That's my bad. I'm sorry.
You're good. We got 10 minutes left, so I want you to take this over because you are the host.
Yeah.
So ask us some questions.
Oh yeah. What do you got? How do you guys? Because Humphrey asked us to figure this out during class. What do you got? How do you think they balance the horror and comedy aspect well?
The death scene says it all.
The deaths.
The mom death,
Yeah.
all on its own, is how it handled it well. It went from the
funny to serious really quick. Yeah.
funny to serious but absurd seriousness all at once, and it was still a comical thing. It's like
Would you say over? Would you say they kind of? Would you say I believe they overdid it? Yes or no?
yeah, because it's like literally, it's like she's dying. We know it. You're all
Turning
about
into a
to.
zombie, that's all,
You're
that's
all about to freaking die as well if you don't get your shit together, because you're going to freaking be killed because they're all breaking and entering the Winchester anyway. So I mean, like, but like literally, that's literally it. But like, again, like the whole let's make a plan is before the whole thing truly started. It's like let's make a plan. So we're gonna go there, go to my mom's, kill my stepdad.
Yeah, I think they went through it like 3 or 4 times, like how they thought it was going to go versus how it did go. Yeah.
Like how plans be.
Because not only all of that, but like they had to figure out would it be better to come back here, and then they're like, no, we can't come back here. Okay, well, where do we go? Okay, so we're gonna go there to mom, kill my stepdad,
Jump the fence.
go over to
The Winchester.
go to Liz's house, pick
her
her
back, yeah.
pick her up, and then we're all gonna be happy at the good old Winchester and wait all this out. It went through 3 or 4 times before it actually happened. And then like I thought it was funny how like I forget the name of the other side character, but the other guy with glasses.
Oh no, David.
Yeah.
David.
How like he hit a point of like
He was freaking out.
not only the freaking out part's not what I'm getting at, the absurd of like, does everyone realize that he's not actually bloody here? And like
And then
I
right
need
as
to
he
be
says that he walks in.
well, it's all of that. And then on top of that, the reveal of like, what are you talking about? You've always had a crush on her.
He had a crush on Liz, and he couldn't get her. He couldn't get her in high school, so he had his fallback was his girlfriend he's currently with. Yeah.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, Mason just ate it and just ate shit and fell out of his chair.
He just Weird Owl'd the chair.
Are you okay?
No.
You didn't break anything, did you?
I hope not.
No, like you didn't break your butt, did you? No, I mean like you didn't hurt your body, did you?
No.
I always hurt my body. It's fine.
I think physically, I think he's fine.
My pride's a little hurt.
Oh,
Glad Emma wasn't there to see that.
yeah.
We're all glad for that.
But anyway, to go back to the
He
Winchester.
looks around. He looks around. Oh gosh.
I need to go to the Winchester.
to get himself something from the pub.
Okay,
Yeah.
But I mean, like, it was, again, the absurdity of, like,
but it worked.
you all knew that all of that was going to happen eventually, but it happened at the oddest of
I
times
think
that
you
it had to
said this,
happen.
Will, in class. Even though it was odd, you said the timing and the way it was placed worked.
That's what I was getting to. It's like, you know that he's eventually going to crack about Liz, about cracking about how, I forget his actual name in the movie, but Simon Pegg's character.
Sean.
Wow, can't believe the name of the actual
Shaun the
title
Dead.
character. Yeah. But whenever Sean left and everything else like that, you get all that way, and you know eventually he's going to be the one that goes like, this thing, we're insane here. This is a piece of shit. Like, he's not even here, and like everyone else is like, you want to just go get a drink over there? I mean, like, it's like one of those things, and it's just like, sure. And then like my other favorite part was when everyone was like thinking, oh, when the power came back on in the pub, the fact that he decided to play the arcade machine.
Yeah, that was. And they're
And
like,
that's
shh.
some-
No, that wasn't. It was an arcade machine. It was a jukebox.
You know what the funny thing is? That's something I would do.
Play
It
a
wa-
jukebox.
It
when you're supposed
wasn't.
to be quiet.
It wasn't just the jukebox. He played the. It
It
was
was like-
either the slot, the pinball, or whatever it
Pinball.
was.
Pinball.
Yeah, and he won like jackpot.
Yeah, and they're
then
like,
they- and
they're
then
like,
and
shut
then he
it
tur-
off, you
and then
moron.
and then he turns the jukebox. I'm like, turn that off. Turn the jukebox off.
Okay, here I have a question too.
They really needed to play Queen.
Oh yeah, that was actually awesome. I love that reference too. And they did do the Beatles
You
eventually.
just had to
too.
play Queen.
But like the other thing too is this: what would you guys do if one of your friends became a zombie? Would you keep them as a pet or put them down?
Depends which friend it is.
I'm good
Yeah,
with
same.
that one, because it's like, I'm
How
good.
well do I know this friend?
That's what I'm saying. It depends
As-
who the friend is.
No, I mean,
In
I
the
can,
context-
I can not know a friend well, but I feel like if I like have like we've never had a bad moment, that kind of thing. Like,
It's the fact of like I was referring to the fact that like literally he had that thing of like he might have always been a thorn in his side, but he always stuck up for him.
Exactly.
Blah blah blah, did all that stuff. And I think it's funny at the end he kept the apartment, got the girl, kept his friend in the damn
in a
shed,
yeah.
and he's like, I'm going out to play games.
The first thing
Okay.
that freaked me out was when you see that ending scene. It's like he goes to bite him. He's like, no, don't bite me.
It's like a dog.
And he's like got the controller like with his fat thumb trying to hit the button.
Yeah, not to mention all that, and then Zombied.
So what about you? You have a question for us? Because I've asked a couple. He asked one.
Zombie.
You got one?
That's what the question was about the whole. Would you put the friend down or would you,
Yeah.
know, keep it as
I
a
think
pet?
knowing what I know, I would be hard, but I would have to.
I would keep my friend and research and try to find a way to cure them.
But what if there was no cure?
Then, yeah, I would. Again, depending on the friend, I would keep them or kill them.
I would love to. I just couldn't.
Again, it's just one of those things that's like,
It's hard.
Is it-
It's hard. Yeah.
I think it's funny how he put down his parents, but yet he couldn't put down his friend.
Yeah.
Like,
So in a way, by what you just said, he sees Ed more as family than his own mom.
No.
Think about what he just said. He put his mom down, but he couldn't put Ed down.
Well,
he sees Ed more as family than
To
his
be
own mom.
fair, his mom they had to get rid of immediately because they were all gonna die at that point.
she was one on the inside with everybody else.
Yeah, they really had
But
no
the
choice
first
there.
scene you see of Ed as a zombie, he tries to bite Sean.
Yes, but that also wasn't a life or death situation.
And also, they probably stung him with whatever type of zombie stuff that they have.
Yeah.
He probably works at like Walmart being the cart guy. I mean, that
Will
was a
did-
funny thing
For
too.
those that don't know, Will did the best zombie walk after the movie. I don't know
mean,
if you saw it.
My legs were tired too. That was the other funny part.
Was it?
I
Oh,
was
God.
just freaking as
You were
tired.
exhausted.
I was tired as if I was a zombie after I walked out of the.
He just
Yeah,
did,
that-
he
after
just did
staying
this
in
that
walk.
night was so. I
all
don't
of
know
all of
why.
us were done after Sean. To be honest, like
Yes.
it was great, but we were
We
all
needed
tired.
time, yeah.
Yeah, Humphrey didn't even talk. That's how.
That's how
Tired,
you
yeah.
know.
Yesterday he talked for a while.
Yeah.
Well,
So we
2
got
nights ago we literally went under. Last night we went so
20
over
minutes
it was
over.
almost
we
10
went
o'clock.
we went 20
Yeah.
over yesterday.
Well, that's not going to be good for my curfew. Wait, what the hell? How is that going to work? We have class at 6:30.
Yeah, you're gonna have to talk to your mom about that, bud.
Yeah, that's. I don't think she thought that one through.
No, she didn't. It's a weekend though.
It is the weekend. I get to sleep in,
So
play some Fortnite.
we're not having class tonight though. That's
hey,
other
you're
thing.
the host. So what's your last question for us before we go?
Did you like the movie? Like, what would you rank
Oh,
it?
like 1 to
1 out
10?
of 10. I give it a.
Okay, I'm gonna go on horror. I'll go a horror scale and comedy scale. Horror scale, I don't find it scary, so I'll give it out of horror wise. I'll give it a 2. Comedy wise, 7. 7.5 at the max.
Overall, I'll give it a 7 because it was pretty good. Not the greatest movie ever, but I really enjoyed it.
I agree with both of you. I think it should have been a little longer, but I see why they ended it.
What about you, Will?
I give it a solid 5 all the way around.
That's fair.
It's not entirely bad. It's not entirely
What
great.
do you think? ending notwithstanding, what could have been improved? Ending notwithstanding.
I mean, I know it was 2000, what, 4?
Yeah.
I get it's the early 2000s, but the editing could have been there. I mean, there's stuff that came out in '04 that was way better, like, I don't know, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know that the technology was there.
I think Goblet of Fire was 04, actually.
It doesn't matter. The fact is that the Harry Potter franchise was going strong in Britain. They had the technology.
Star Wars was going.
But
too.
again, the budgets are way different.
But even with all that, I know budgets can help restrain stuff too. But if you work hard enough, you can still get a great product. If I want to go further into that,
You can.
Toy Story.
Yeah.
How much of a budget did they actually
The
have
first
for
movie?
it? The first one that came out in '95.
Give me 1 second.
Now, granted, the technology back in '95 sucked, but
Computers were just
Yeah.
starting to be a thing.
thank you, Steve Jobs.
30 million. That's not cheap.
It's not cheap, but it was also for an experiment.
Toy Story 2 budget was 90.
Did you know that actually got almost deleted entirely?
I
Yeah.
did.
And then some
So-
lady who pirated it.
No, she had the entire thing at home.
Did the entire
Yeah, she
thing.
pirated it.
No, it was
That's called
basi-
pirating.
It was she worked at Pixar. It was there so she could work on it at home because she was
Okay.
pregnant with a kid.
Okay, what I was told was she just took it from work.
I was
and
told the
was
same
like,
thing too. I was told she pirated it.
Regardless,
I
are
was
we
told-
not happy she did it?
But I was
That's true.
I was never told that she worked for Pixar. That never came up.
That
with
I
what
did
read.
know actually, but
So basically, regardless if she did it by law, by authorization of the big cheese, or not,
The big cheese.
or not, or by big jobs, I'm going to do it that way too.
the big cheese.
But literally, with or without the proper authorization, Toy Story 2 would not have existed.
Yeah.
And that is
I would've.
regarded as
It
the
would've
best
just-
sequel ever.
Except for Empire.
That's animated
best,
sequel as
okay,
well.
best sequel. You're going a little farther, bud.
It's one of the
It's
rarest,
one of.
rarest ones.
Animated sequel?
Not just animated, but like overall.
It's not one of the. It's one. It's not.
It
yeah.
goes up there with Terminator 2, Empire.
Okay,
and
I think
that.
Terminator 2
Across
is.
the Spider-Verse.
I think Terminator
That's
2
modern
is
day.
a lot.
True.
I don't think Terminator 2 is as people tell me it is. I've seen it.
It's great.
Okay, it's great. I don't.
It's
I don't
better
think
than Terminator.
Yeah.
I agree, but I don't think it's up there as one of the greatest sequels.
It's better than the first movie. That's literally what you want when you get a
There's-
sequel.
Terminator 1, I don't hate though.
There's a reason I always go to the sequel, because if you can make an original idea and make it better than the first one, you have a decent
But there
franchise
is a
to go
quote
back
that
to.
there
it.
is a quote that nothing beats the original.
True, nothing might beat the original, but if you
It can
can
get damn
try
close.
to milk a franchise, and if you can make a decent number 2
They could get damn close.
as
yeah.
equal, or even some might say if you're looking at them from apart, like let's take Star Wars again. Which one's better, A New Hope
6.
or Empire?
Empire.
6.
If you're only looking at 4 and 5, the first 2 that came out, Empire and A New Hope, which one is better of those
Do
two?
you want me to be dead honest? I like
Dead
I
honest.
like 4 better. I like 4 better
Okay,
personally.
but the better movie, like overall, not like speaking opinion wise.
4.
No.
I like 4. I think 4
Okay,
is
you
all,
can like that.
I think all around better movie. 4.
I'm
I
talking not opinionated. Like Empire is objectively a better movie.
If you look
That's
at it,
objectively though. The word objectively would mean everyone would have to agree. Objective means everyone agrees.
which one had the bigger budget, 4 or 5?
5.
Obviously 5. There's a reason for that because of the original.
True, and there's always that, but
Which one had the better lightsaber duel?
technology was better in 5.
That's that. Yeah.
There's parts
There
of
was
it
barely
where,
any technology used in 4.
Yeah, I know.
but yet thanks to Star Wars, we have Alien.
yeah.
Thanks
Although
to
yeah.
thanks to the success of how 77s went,
yeah.
we got
79
Alien.
Yeah.
And thanks to Empire, all that trend started to do it. Hence how our debate from our first podcast
You
that
guys
we
are
did.
not. You guys may not like this. I think 6 is better than both of them.
All right.
Oh, I personally think
Here's a
6
hot
is
take.
better.
Here's a hot take. I think the Star Wars Holiday Special is the best out of all of them.
Oh my God.
What time is it?
What? 1:35.
Not time. I meant how much.
44.
Okay, can we?
Sure.